Hey guys, what's up? You're watching the EJ Tech Show with me, Sahil and Soham, and this right here is the new 08i smartphone from Infinix, a brand that's known for offering low budget devices at very aggressive price points. Now, that's a great thing if you're someone who's got a very tight budget, but it's not a great thing for a smartphone manufacturer like Infinix because then they have to make a lot of compromises and a lot of cutbacks to attain that low price point. Now, that has been the case for a lot of Infinix phones that we've reviewed on this show in the past. But the Infinix 08i is mostly an exception to that because this is a phone that's offering you terrific features at a very affordable price point of 14,999 rupees. So let's quickly go through some of these features because when I first unboxed this phone and realized what the specs were, I was very surprised. So you're looking at a 90 Hertz FHD plus display.
At 15K.
Yeah. And you're looking at 180 Hertz touch response rate. You've also got 6 cameras in total, 4 at the back, 2 in the front. You've got 8 GB of RAM on tap. You've got USB Type-C charging, beg your pardon. And you've also got 33 watt fast charging. I mean, here's the question. Where has this Infinix phone been all my life?
I think this is Infinix response to Micromax coming back.
Okay.
I think this is basically Infinix putting its foot down and saying, you know what? We're not going to take this lightly.
Yeah.
You may want to compete with us in that price range, but okay, we're going to establish ourselves in a slightly bigger price range, a slightly higher price range, which Samsung usually dominates with its M series. And we've been noticing that the M series has slowly been moving so far up that it's got almost bang into the A series, and there's a new F series now from Samsung that's trying to take the place of that. This, I think, is going to herald a new age in this price point. Because it does come with a lot of great features. It also does come with a few compromises. But I think the compromises it makes, most people will be ready to set that aside. They won't have a problem with it.
True, but I think this also goes up against the Realme 7 because that's got the same price and it's offering very similar features. So it's clear that yes, they want to take on Micromax, they want to take on Samsung, but I think in their eyes, Realme is one competition that they just want to, take those customers away and bring them over to the Infinix side. And these features over here may just do that. But first, let's talk about this design because it stands out for a number of reasons. Firstly, with that beautiful silver color, and it refracts light, so you'll get these really nice patterns and rainbow colors all across running through it when you hold this phone at different angles. Then you've got this really funky triangular aesthetic on the top, which gets this smooth matte finish. And of course, you've got that diamond camera module that we've seen on phones like the Vivo
S1
Pro as well. Now, the back is made of plastic, but it doesn't feel cheap in the hand. And overall, I think it's a very unique design. Now, some people might think it's too flashy. Some people might think it's not flashy enough. But I'll give this to Infinix. They do like to mix things up. Even if you look at their Hot series or if you look at their Smart series, and now the 0 series, they never stick to one thing. They're always trying new things, new experiments. And sometimes it pays off, sometimes it doesn't. But for me, this is nice. This works for me.
I think that's also an advantage that a smaller brand like Infinix, well, smaller in the grand scheme of things, a smaller brand like Infinix can do. They can afford to take those risks every time with their design. They can suddenly change it, make sweeping big changes, and maybe buyers will just respond because it gives them a lot of valuable insight to market response to their phones. And at the same time, they get to do something that's a little bit quirky, that's a little bit off the usual path that people will overall just, it'll appeal to
basically,
everyone.
I don't think Infinix has found their sweet spot when it comes to design because they're experimenting so much. I think they get to find that one universal design that they can just slap across all their smartphone series. That's yet to happen. This might be the future of Infinix. I don't think it will be. I think they will tone it down as well eventually as it goes down the line. But right now, this is what you're getting. And if you like a funky design, then this is it. Apart from that, let's talk quickly about the utilities and ports. I think this is the first Infinix phone that I've reviewed that actually has USB Type-C charging. I might be wrong, but most of them, I remember them being micro USB, so that's really nice to see. You've also got a headphone jack, you've got that speaker over there, so this is all at the bottom. On the right side, you've got the volume rocker, and of course you've got the side fingerprint scanner, and this is actually a very good fingerprint scanner. Opens up the phone almost every time without fail, and it's been nicely placed as well, so it's easy to reach. Then on the left side, you've got the 3-in-1 SIM card slot, so you've got the option of holding up to 2 nano SIM cards and also 1 micro SD card as well. Now, just keep in mind that this is a very big phone, so you're not going to be able to use it with one hand for sure. And it's also very heavy at 205 grams. Now, if you're someone who doesn't like big screens, then this massive 6.5-inch display on offer over here is going to scare the hell out of you. But if you do like extra large screens, then this huge screen is perfect for watching content.
Yeah.
And despite it having this dual hole punch cutout, it's still offering you a 90.1% screen to body ratio. So like I said, watching content, no issues on this.
Yeah, and it is good that they went with the dual hole punch because that looks far more modern than, let's say, just a simple basic single notch. And we have seen hole punches, also single hole punches, but then the dual hole punch obviously offers more variety and more versatility to the camera unit on the front.
Yeah, so it's worth noting, by the way, that while this is an FHD Plus display, this is not an OLED screen, this is an LCD screen. So that's some of the compromises that the company had to make to get that price point, which is okay. And unless you're some hotshot display expert, you're not going to really notice the difference between LCD and OLED. The only time you will notice it if you keep this phone right next to, let's say, a OnePlus phone or a Samsung phone that get those really fancy displays, especially when you're watching content. Those fancy displays will have much better colors, much sharper colors. So you can tell that way, but on its own, it's not bad at all. And like I said, beautiful 90.1% screen to body ratio. So watching content, playing games, you're absolutely good to go on the Infinix Zero 8i for sure. My only issue with this display is the brightness levels. It comes with 418 nits of brightness, which is okay for this price point, and indoor visibility is absolutely fine, but outdoors it can appear a little bit dim at certain viewing angles.
Okay, but keeping aside all the viewing angles and all the brightness issues you may have had with it, I really think it's commendable that Infinix has brought 90 Hz to this price point. Now, we have seen other brands like Realme
they are fashionably late to it, the high refresh rate bandwidth, but it's good that they
the fact that they're here signals that more brands will follow suit, which means you might now start seeing maybe phones at 25,000 rupees or 30,000 rupees get 120 Hz, which really says a lot for this industry and how quickly technology advances even at this price point. So 90 Hz is a big plus for me.
Yeah, and that 90 Hz, of course, apart from making a big difference to things like scrolling and animation playback, it also makes a big difference when you're interacting with the user interface. Now, in the past, I have been a big critic of Infinix phones that come loaded with the XOS software. Now, this one gets XOS 7, and it also comes with Android 10, which is fine. But it also comes with so much bloatware. It comes with so much adware, and it just ruins the whole experience. And that is the case over here as well. But that 90 Hz refresh rate makes it somewhat more manageable.
Now that 90 Hz is also bolstered by 8 GB of RAM, because this at 15,000 rupees gives 8 GB of RAM on offer. And that's really good because that's nearly gaming territory if you look at it. The Asus ROG Phone 3 in its base variant offers 8 GB RAM, which means that Infinix is really trying to get this as powerful as they can. And they know that the bloatware is going to slow things down, so they've made sure that there's 8 GB RAM, there's 90 Hz display, and the Helio G90T processor also helps with the overall experience.
And there's also 180 Hz touch response rate over here, which they're not calling this, Infinix is not calling this outright a gaming smartphone, but you can see that the hardware and software optimization is built around that.
Which is good.
Yeah, and you will have no issues playing low graphic to high graphic games on this. I was playing Call of Duty Mobile on this, which is a very high graphic intensive game, and by default the setting goes up to high anyway. And Helio G90T, it is somewhat of an outdated processor in the sense that it did power a couple of smartphones last year, like the Redmi Note 8 Pro. So this is not exactly, it's not the Helio G95, which is the successor to that, but it's also not very, very outdated. And we know from experience that the Helio G90T is a very capable processor, especially when it comes to gaming. So I faced no lags, no issues while I was playing Call of Duty. And of course, with 8 GB of RAM, gaming is going to be much better. And overall day-to-day performance, whether you're scrolling on the web, whether you're replying through WhatsApp messages and multitasking, it's top-notch with the Helio G90T and that 8 GB of RAM. Okay, so coming over to the camera now, and this has 4 cameras on the back, like I mentioned before when we started this review. You're getting a 48 megapixel primary sensor, you're getting an 8 megapixel ultra-wide sensor, you're getting a 2 megapixel depth sensor, and there's an AI camera that doesn't have any megapixel count to it for some reason. Now, I've never been a big fan of Infinix cameras in the past. Images at best with those phones are mediocre, right? But this one, surprisingly, at least the 48 megapixel camera, the other two lenses, the 8 megapixel and the 2 megapixel depth sensor, it's a hit or miss over there. But with the 48 megapixel, given the lighting conditions are good, it'll take very respectable pictures. So I'm happy with that. And of course, you've got those two front cameras over there. So one's a 16 megapixel primary lens and the other one's 8 megapixel lens for your more wider shots if you want to take group selfies and stuff. And because you have two cameras, it does take much better portrait pictures because it doesn't have to rely on the software to get that depth. So that was also pretty good. But I'm actually more impressed with the video capabilities of this phone. So it can shoot 1080p at 60 frames per second, 4K at 30 frames per second, plus both the front and the back cameras, they both get video stabilization in the form of EIS. So it's a very well-rounded camera package you're getting over here. And I can confidently say that this is the first, if you are going to buy this phone and if camera is somewhat important to you, not massively important, then you can rest assured that this camera setup won't disappoint you.
So now on the battery front also, we've seen Infinix in the past has had really large batteries, especially on their Hot series and Smart series. They get 6000 mAh batteries.
Yeah.
The figure here is not as impressive. It's a 4500 mAh unit, but how was your experience with it?
It's a 4500 unit, and now that we know that smartphones are reaching up to 7000 mAh, it doesn't sound like a lot. But when it comes to usage, it's not bad at all. So this is easily a 2-day battery backup with this phone if you're using it with medium usage. And that's mostly thanks to the fact that you're getting some very, very aggressive RAM management, and also thanks to those extra battery enhancement options that Infinix has introduced on this phone. So you'll be okay. Plus, it's also got 33-watt fast charging as well, which is very nice to see. Fast charging 33-watt, similar to what Vivo phones offer you. That's the same number. And from 0 to 70%, should take about 30 minutes, around 30 minutes, so that's not bad at all.
That's really, really good, because usually phones, even that charge at 33 watts, they'll take at least an hour to get you from 0 to full. So the fact that this is doing it with a decent enough battery backup with a 4500 mAh unit, that's actually quite impressive.
Yeah. Okay, so bottom line, should you buy this phone or not? And honestly, if I was Samsung or Realme, I would be having an emergency meeting right now, because they should be worried, because Infinix has really upped their game. Now, if it wasn't for that annoying bloatware, I would have wholeheartedly recommended this phone to anyone. But even despite that bloatware, this is a very, very terrific option from Infinix.
Yeah, even when you just look at the specs, the Helio G90T chipset, the 8GB RAM on offer, the 90Hz display, the big display, and the big battery backup with the 33-watt charging. Really, I don't think there's any other brand that's planning to offer this much at this price point. Yes, the bloatware might be a hit or miss for some people, but again, this is a great option to have at this price point, and I really, really commend Infinix with this new one.
Okay, yeah, so the 08i from Infinix gets 2 thumbs up from us. Let us know what you think about let us know what you think about the new Infinix 08i. Give us your feedback. Give us a lot of comments. Hit that subscribe button. We'll be back very soon with more reviews. Stay tuned.